Stoicism is a philosophy of life that maximizes positive emotions, reduces negative emotions, and helps individuals to hone their virtues of character. The word stoic commonly refers to someone who is indifferent to pain, pleasure, grief, or joy. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most influential human beings in human history. He was the head of the Roman Empire for 2 decades, at a time when it was one of the largest and most influential civilizations the world had ever seen. And despite being an individual of limitless power who could do whatever he pleased, Emperor Aurelius passionately practiced and lived the Stoic philosophy. Unlike many powerful people who become corrupt slaves of the greed and never-ending needs, Marcus Aurelius was conscious of the unlimited momentary pleasure available, all the women, alcohol, and partying. He wrote nightly in his journal about his struggles to live as a restrained, wise, and virtuous human being. He wrote them for himself entirely. Later his writings were uncovered, collected, and published under the title Meditation. This collection is now recognized as one of the most influential Stoic texts. His writings are a direct look at the thoughts of a practicing Stoic, and he stands as an incredible example of how Stoic strategies can help individuals deal with stressful situations. Stoicism teaches the development of self-control and fortitude as a means of overcoming destructive emotions. The philosophy holds that becoming a clear and unbiased thinker allows one to understand the universal reason. From the human perspective, two categories can be distinguished: things that we do not control and things that we do control. Stoic philosopher Epictetus quotes, "The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Where then do I look for good and evil? Not to uncontrollable externals, but within myself to the choices that are my own." Epictetus thought that philosophy is a way of life and not simply a theoretical discipline. To Epictetus, all external events are beyond our control. We should accept whatever happens calmly and dispassionately. However, individuals are responsible for their own actions, which they can examine and control through rigorous self-discipline. Stoics acknowledge that people don't have control over all, or even much, of what happens in life. And they emphasize that worrying about things outside of their control is unproductive, or even irrational to a person who wants to attain tranquility. Things in our control are opinion, what we think about a situation; pursuit, what we chase for in life; desire, what we desire, such as pleasure; aversion, our dissatisfaction; hate and disgust; and, in a single word, whatever are our own actions or how we react to our external factors. Things not in our control are body, how age affects our body or disease; how the body of someone who is severely ill reacts, positive or negative; property, market conditions; no matter how right our thoughts and decisions are, economy can either rise up or fall down; we may make money or lose money; reputation, what others think of us; commands such as political agendas or outcomes of a government regulation; and, in a word, whatever are not our own actions. Whether we decide an outcome is positive or negative, depressing or encouraging, optimistic or pessimistic, our opinion and our actions towards a situation or how we handle them are under our control. Or in other words, the position we take towards the world around us. Epictetus points out that any delusion on what we can control and what we cannot control leads to the greatest errors, misfortunes, and troubles, and to the slavery of the soul. The determination between what is good and what is not good is made by the capacity for choice. Epictetus teaches that the preconceptions of good and evil are common to all. Good alone is profitable and to be desired, and evil is hurtful and to be avoided. Different opinions arise only from the application of these preconceptions to particular cases, and it is then that the darkness of ignorance, which blindly maintains the correctness of its own opinion, must be dispelled. People entertain different and conflicting opinions of good, and in their judgment of a particular good, people frequently contradict themselves. Philosophy should provide a standard for good and evil. This process is greatly facilitated because the mind and the works of the mind are alone in our power, whereas all external things that aid life are beyond our control. The Stoics take a very different view of misfortune than most people. Seneca quote, "I judge you unfortunate because you have never lived through misfortune. You have passed through life without an opponent. No one can ever know what you are capable of, not even you." Unquote. They expect mishaps and use them as opportunities to hone their virtues. That is not to say that they are glad when troubles beset them, but they try not to lament them needlessly, and they actively seek benefit wherever possible. Imagine breaking a leg and needing to sit in bed for 4 months while it heals. A Stoic would attempt to guide their thoughts away from useless woe is me rumination and focus instead on how they might do something productive while bedridden. Example, write their first book. They would try to reframe the event as a way to cultivate their patience and become more creative. Where there is an adverse event, Stoics try not to let it ruin their tranquility, and instead, they try to derive character-building benefits wherever possible. Marcus Aurelius quotes, "External things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them, which you can erase right now." Unquote. In many ways, one's thoughts determine their experience of reality. For two people who undergo the same hardship, their differing assessment of that same misfortune can result in entirely different emotions and behaviors. Where one may feel utter despair at the loss of a job, another may feel liberated and hopeful about the opportunity. Monitoring one's inner critic towards greater optimism can be a boon to psychological well-being. Remember, it is not the event itself that makes one upset, but one's thoughts about it. Memento Mori has been an important concept in many philosophies, from the Stoics to the existentialists. It means remember that you will die. While this may seem morbid, Stoics like Epictetus and Seneca believe that contemplating one's mortality can lead to more gratitude and virtuous action. When one remembers that their lives are not infinite, it tends to clarify what is really important. This idea is often summed up as advice given in the form of "you could get hit by a bus tomorrow." Again, it seems morbid, but the point is to get out and live today. Don't stress so much about the little things, and ensure that you carp that diem, as you won't always have another chance. James Stockdale, a fighter pilot who was shot down while serving in the Vietnam War, was influenced by Epictetus. Stockdale credits Epictetus with helping him endure his 7.5 years in captivity, which included torture and 4 years in solitary confinement. When he was shot down, he reportedly said to himself, "I'm leaving the world of technology and entering the world of Epictetus." As he bailed out, quoting Epictetus, Stockdale concludes his book with, "The emotions of grief, pity, and even affection are well-known disturbers of the soul. Grief is the most offensive." Epictetus considered the suffering of grief an act of evil. It is a willful act, going against the will of God to have all men share happiness. Please see below links for some of the best books on Stoicism in the description. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. Discourses by Epictetus. The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Thank you for watching.